let's talk about our early thoughts and everything that we're seeing for the new format. Ooh, post-ban. Ooh, make sure you guys smash the oven crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more Oz content. So this is just going to kind of be all over the place in terms of a discussion here. But I want to give a shout out to you Salaman Great Duelist out here. Gazelle moving to 3 has made you all super excited. I have not seen so many people jump on a hype train for a deck than the Salaman Great Duelist out here that have all just been like, oh, I don't have to buy all the new support. The Ling 4 Rising Phoenix definitely has helped out a lot of the price point. All right, it's $12. You guys spend $24. You guys decide on how many Salaman Gratifiers you want to play. I mean, I've seen builds coming up with 1, 2, 3. Depends on how much money you want to spend on that. And if you had the old Salaman Great deck, well, congratulations. That was it. And it is finding success. I mean, we're coming off of OTS Championship weekend. We're not really quite into new list yet, but stores have been playing new list. People have been exploring the options trees out here. And I mean, once again, if people are looking around out here and they're like, hey, I like what we're seeing out here for this, and if Salad is, hyping itself up, whether or not Salad's doing good or bad, the fact that these duelists are getting the chance to have fun with something that they enjoyed, and they are finding mild success with it, that's good, all right? That's what a list needs to do. And as long as a Rise Heart is not in the freaking room right now, all right, if one of you has an Arise Heart plush pillow that you're cuddling right now, going, how could they? Shame on you. Shame on you. All right. That card devastated and made this game unplayable at certain points. Robbie, you just hate Cashed Hero. No, I don't. I think Cashed Hero without a Rise Heart's a really cool deck. It's a lot of large monsters that you throw at your opponent. I'll deal with Fenrir later, but if you are one of those people that has the Ulu Rise Heart pillow and you treasure it, no, I'm not doing this today. So the first major thing is Salaman Great representation is up. I mean, who would have guessed that? Yeah, nobody. Okay, so I also need to address the big elephant in the room with some of these, you might not have noticed, but Angelica, Princess of the Noble Arms, is going up. And, well, that's mainly because there's hype coming down the pipeline out here for Noble Knight right now. People are kind of gearing up for that. But that's not stopping the fact that people are currently looking at Noble Knights and going, hey, this is a semi-okay choice right now. The cool thing is, in a format like this, where you're getting Angel Ring next set, you can play the deck right now. You're going to have to work your ass off for wins, don't get me wrong, but because of that, your deck just gets better next set. So this is one of those cases of you can have a deck and you can play it and you can do well. I mean, unlike Salaman Great, who's not going to get support for a while, we're just getting more and more of the good stuff at this point in time. So that's kind of something to keep an eye on out here, is obviously Quarter Century Angelicas. Can't believe this. They're going up to the moon. Didn't want to make this into a terrible Market Watch discussion, but something to kind of point out, and a lot of that is duels are just gearing up. They're like, hey, my deck can transition over. It's going to be good through probably the end of the year. 3.5 months of playtime is typically really good in terms of playability. So that's something to kind of think about out here. With Rarity Collection on the horizon too, in terms of staple reprints, deck core buying or wanting to pick up whatever deck core is going to kind of be a little bit more important. That's also, so on the topic of the meta and deck cores, the tins, they brought a lot of cheap affordability to the game. I mean, I shouldn't need to tell you the 5, 6, 7 deck cores that you were able to get out of there, that a majority of them you can do well with in tournaments. Now, the difference between, doing piss poor, doing okay, doing well, and I'm going to win every single tournament. Well, you're never going to win every single tournament right now because the format's too wide open. But you can dial it back to I can do okay and I can do well, which means consistent results are doable based off of the things that got the reprints and the tins. And I mean, hell, let's be honest here. You can't just turn off your brain and not practice a little bit. You got to learn some of the combo lines. with a lot of these decks. I know people want to just shut down. They just want to play brain dead Yu-Gi-Oh! And that's what Arise Heart was. Is this an Arise Heart propaganda video? No. This is just me telling you how it is at this point in time. So you have people, the past, present, and the future are all going to be driving forces on the current front right now. I mean, Salad representation is up. Infernoble players are thirsty for the ring. Oh man, I sound like a Magic the Gathering channel now. Cheap deck cores have got everybody. The meta, because those deck cores are more available, you are going to run into the chance of playing against more Runic. I hate to tell you this, as much as, stupid Runic players. You guys are always ruining our day. Yeah, I read that comment every other day. All right, and then some For Hire Duelist comes in, draws 9 cards. People didn't side for it that day, and now people are upset next week they side for it, and guess what? They don't be successful. You will have your Swan event that will happen every once in a while, and it's just kind of the inevitable at this point in time. So what else is going on in the meta? Do I need to... Anybody remember Unchained? Best deck in the room? Best deck in the room. The amount of, I got first place with Unchained. Yeah, people, it's, what do you want me to tell you? Coming off of the YCS wins, Unchained's going to be sticking around as a tier 1 deck for a very long time because of the way that the format has shifted up. The deck very ignorantly plays around some of the best interactions in the game. And that's just how it's going to be, all right? Until somebody figures out, like, a counterplay. Rika's on Avalon, by the way, tribute their stuff. But that matchup comes down to, can I make a, who made the bigger board first, If Unchained goes first, they make a board. Rika's not doing much. If Rika goes first, well, Unchained's they're going to go like this. Also, Super Poly can break a board. I've heard branded players out here cheering at the top of their, very, very, very quiet backroom voices out here. Sorry, branded players. I still have many discussion points for you guys as to why you're on the bottom half of the top 10, but people still tell me you're the 3rd best deck, which is very strange because numbers tell me differently, but what do I know? Statistics are made up, right? Yeah, tournament data doesn't actually exist. It's all hearsay at the end of the day. But yeah, you can still Super Poly their boards. Might not be able to make, crazy things, but you can do that. Also, Dark Dragoon just bullies them off of the face of the planet. I'm sorry to tell you this, but Unchained looks at Dark Dragoon and they're like, yeah, whew. They're sweating. They're like, yeah, that's a big boy. Yeah. I mean, they have ways to deal with it, but it's not like it's fun. You know what I mean? So the best deck in the room is still that. You still have the counter and Rika Sun Avalon. Purely, what in the world happened to Purely? I always hear the stories of like, yeah, today at Locals, I saw this Purely player draw 6 cards. The deck is busted. It needs to be hit. And I look around and I'm like, yeah, Purely's still here. But it's just, I don't hear a lot of people just aren't talking about it right now. Maybe it's because Unchained is just better at this point. Maybe it's all the Salaman Great Duels that are seeing play right now. Maybe Salad is where it's at. Once again, I don't know the answer to this. Purely still exists in the room. The fact that people aren't really considering it, or they're like, oh, okay. But then you're like, draw 6 combo, and they're like, okay. It comes down to how you can build things and grind it out, but I still think Purely is very much a monster right now. This is one of the most diverse metas. And I've been saying this a lot for the last year, even though I complain a lot. It sounds like a broken record. The game gets more and more diverse. There are a lot more things that you can play. There will always be things that will be better than others, but that means that you have to use your tech choices, your mental prowess to make decisions to curve out the weaknesses of whatever strategy you bring to the table. Anybody else catch that? That sounds like some hard work. Why do that when I can Arise Heart, turn off my... Oh, that was last format. Sorry. Why do I want to work for these? Why do I want to spend all this? Because you want to play this game, all right? And the more and more that the game gets diverse, the more and more that we have these different options available, then you can do things. Look at Tier Elements, for example. People still love that deck. RNG Mills, the fact that they can control and do all of these crazy things, but the deck is beatable. All right, it's not the crazy pile of hot, I hate it here, turbo that it once was. So that's something else to kind of keep in mind here is with the wider range of things that are currently happening in the game, you have options, and that's what you want to see. Leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.